We are live, and here we go. Mick Fury, how are you?
Doing great, Skip. Deb, what's happening, y'all?
Yeah. Good afternoon, good evening, actually.
We're an hour behind us. Mick is in Nashville, but he knows what it's like to be in Syracuse because this is like his home, his neck of the woods. So,
well, either way, it's cocktail hour, so I'm just happy to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Got my Sam Adams, so that's good. And then I guess I could say that. Yeah, and Deb's
got her sippy cup.
I got a fruity drink.
It's a fruity drink.
It looks a little nicer if I'm sipping out of a straw instead of this.
It sounds like somebody's cutting the grass at Deb's house.
Yeah, in the front yard.
More in the backyard or in the background. So, all right, Mick, you've got a new project, the Front Porch of America. It's actually not new. It's been happening for a couple of years now. You just keep adding on to it, right?
Yeah, it seems like it keeps going through a bunch of evolution. So it started as a song that we wrote called the Front Porch of America that I wrote with my real good buddy Sean Patrick McGraw here in Nashville, East Nashville, actually, where I live. And then I kind of got a spark a year or so ago to make it into a documentary. I basically drove around America, 9,000 miles, sitting on people's front porches, places like where Deb's sitting right now, having a cocktail with them and just talking to them about all this animosity that we see out there, all this fighting, right? So we turned that into a documentary with my filmmaker, Terry Little. And then once this whole situation broke out and we were all stuck in our homes, I thought, that song has a really nice message of hope and empathy and putting yourself in someone else's shoes. So I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if I got independent musician friends all over the country.
Right.
I'll have them sit at their houses and film themselves singing, hey, I said, sing your favorite part of this song and send it to me. And then I'll Frankenstein it all together and turn it into a video. So that's where we are now with the Front Porch of America Orchestra.
So. And that's exactly. I'm going to play a little bit of this. All right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little bit of this, so you'll be able to see the video if you're watching. Here we go. It's pretty cool.
Looking out over the land of the free. My father's father's sometimes I'm sad by the sad things I see from the front porch of America. My friends and haters can't get along. What makes us different? What makes us so strong? Might be in different keys, but we're singing the same song. From the front porch of America. My country tells me sweet land of liberty. Looking back at all the way we've been shot and shot, both sides were right. You know I still, yes I do.
Well, you get the idea. I know. I think we're getting a little bit of feedback with it because the volumes are turned up on some of the computers. But
sure.
Mick, that is really cool. You pieced all that together.
I did, yeah. I was, man. I'm so lucky to know so many talented musicians that would take their time, out of their lives to send me what they, learn the song, record it, videotape it, send it to me. So yeah, I mean, I've had a little bit of experience putting videos and audio together, so. It took me a little bit of time, but I figured it out. I got it figured out. So
yeah, but you had the time. We all have.
I have the time.
How has first of all, how are you doing with all the with everything? The quarantine and of course, I believe Nashville is now open, correct?
Yeah, I mean we have like a 4-part plan down here. That's I don't really know the details, but they look at the metrics, and every 2 weeks, if it looks like the metrics are going the right direction, they move to the next phase, and it's more capacity at restaurants, more chances for entertainment, retail. I don't really know the details, but I think we just moved into phase 2 on Monday. I think that's the case. So yeah, they're starting to open up. Yeah, it's been, I'm a pretty positive thinking guy. I guess if I looked at this rationally, it's been horrible, but I'm too positive to look at it that way. So it's been a great time for me to, write new music, kind of reflect on life. I've been reading a lot, meditating, I'm walking, I'm eating healthy. I've been working in the garden every day. So I'm just kind of trying to make the most of the time and taking this time to just kind of reflect on life and see like, hey, where do I want to go in the future? You know what I mean? Trying to stay positive.
No, absolutely. Do you go ahead, Deb?
Oh, you're recently married, right?
I am recently married. Scariest thing I've ever done, but yeah, I got married back in October to a very lovely young lady named Michelle, and
Awesome.
we've really only tried to kill each other about a dozen times so far on this quarantine. So
Well,
I think
that's
we're doing
what I was
pretty
going
well.
to ask. First, congratulations. And then secondly, you kind of went right into quarantine short time after. So I was just wondering how that all was going.
Well, it's a little scary because she's been working out a lot lately, so she's getting strong.
Ah.
So now when I wake up in the middle of the night with her hands around my neck, it's a much firmer grip than I'm used to. So it's great. We get along really well. So
That's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Glad to hear it. And let's take it back a little bit. Let's talk about the beginnings of Mick Fury here in Syracuse.
Sure.
Let's start from the very, very beginning.
Oh man, so the very beginning was I graduated high school and I went to FM. I'm an FM guy.
Yep.
And all my teachers wanted me to go to college, and I said, I think I want to be like a rock and roll artist. So I moved out to LA. I'd never lived anywhere but in Syracuse. I packed up a crappy old car, and there's a zillion funny stories of my car exploding across the country. But suffice to say, I made it to LA. I lived out there for a couple years in Hollywood, playing like an acoustic rock kind of thing, played all over the town, and loved the city, loved the people, didn't love the music scene. It was a pay-to-play kind of situation. So then I came back to Syracuse, again, drove across country. Again, my car exploded. It's all fodder for a future book, I'm sure. So I came back home. Yeah, I came back home and I started up Silent Fury, which was kind of my hard rock project. And we had a great run, man. We ran for 7-8 years or something. I played with all my best friends. My buddy Joe Nasty, Joe Grossfent, Greg Goose LaPointe, who now lives in LA, plays with John Fogerty. He's doing great.
Yeah, I saw him on, I want to say it was Good Morning America not all that long ago. He's playing with.
Amazing, right? Amazing.
It's like I look
from playing
and I go, it's Goose.
Yeah, right. It's Goose. Yeah. From playing with this old moron to playing with John Fogerty, he's moved up just a little bit. He just made a little bit of progress. But no, I still keep up with him. We did a Zoom call the other day. We stay close.
Very cool.
But yeah, Silent Fury did awesome. In my opinion, we were really, really fun, really kind of crazy band. We played K-Rockathon, which was like our biggest achievement, got on the radio and stuff. And then, for various reasons, that just kind of dissolved. We did a huge show with 300-400 people at a concert hall in Casanova, and then after that, we kind of broke up, went our separate ways, stayed friends. And so that was, maybe 5-6 years ago, and then we moved down to Nashville. I kind of started a country project, and in Syracuse, we opened for Brothers Osborne and Frankie Ballard and a lot of big acts. And then we came down to Nashville, kind of continued that, and then almost feel like I'm going through another evolution right now, where I'm sort of I'm just writing a lot more songs. I don't want to say I gave up on the industry, but the industry has a very certain way that it goes. It's a little corporate for me. It's a little bit in the box for me. I've never been good at following rules, so now I've kind of kicked the box open, and I'm just kind of writing and singing whatever I want to do. And in Front Porch of America, I just that's kind of the one that sort of epitomizes it. It's a song that it's a little critical of what's going on right now, but I hope it offers people a chance to put themselves in someone else's shoes and just kind of, especially right now, everybody's going through this quarantine in a different way. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people are doing great. It's all different. So we have to be sensitive to that like, maybe one size doesn't fit all in this situation right now, and think about others. I guess that's kind of the message.
Mm-hmm. How many miles did you put on the? Didn't you had a pickup truck or?
My car might have made it. My car gets about 40,000 miles a year on it, just normal me touring. So I didn't want to beat it down any further.
Right.
So yeah, it was me and Terry Little, who's actually a Dryden, New York, Syracuse, New York native. He lives in Florida now. Mm-hmm. And my buddy Adam James Diebel, who I now write a ton of songs with, he just came along for the trip. I'm like, hey man, I'll pay for your booze and your food if you help us drive. He's like, I'm in, I'll go for the trip. So he came along, and he's lived down here for 8 or 9 years, but he's from Albion, New York. So all upstate New Yorkers. So we all got along, equally sarcastic and mean to each other. It's great. But But yeah, we did about 9,000 miles in 2 weeks' time. So if you can picture the map of America, we basically left Nashville, cruised up to New York City, doubled back through Syracuse all the way out to Oregon, where we stopped at a pot farm and interviewed a girl out there. Very exciting experience, from what I remember.
Legal.
Then we went down to LA and then back to Nashville, and like I said, in 2 weeks' time. So it was basically. It's the equivalent of driving about 600 miles a day, which is about what we were doing. So
yeah, that's a haul. There's no doubt.
it was a haul. It was a lot of driving through the nights. It was a lot of sleeping in a small pickup truck with 3 guys. So that was very interesting.
Right. How did you get the front porch? I mean, did you go and knock on the door and say, "Hey, we like your porch. Can we play the guitar?"
Well, that might have been a little dangerous in certain parts of the country. Most of it was people I either knew or knew through a friend. So I could. As you can imagine, with all that driving, we had to have a really tight schedule. So we had to have people available at a certain time. Hey, we're going to be passing through North Dakota at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Are you available for us to sit down with you somewhere in that window? Sure. So, yeah, we set up about somewhere in the neighborhood of a dozen interviews with people from all different walks of life. We had an actor, we had a comedian, we had a musician, then we had just a guy that works in an office, a guy that was a lawyer, a woman that was she's a health coach in Denver. So just kind of people from all different walks of life to see what they're thinking about what's going on right now, what's going on in America. It was quite enlightening for me. It was really, really wonderful.
How many different episodes? There's 3 now?
Well, so of the documentary, we actually broke it into 8 episodes. So it was like 8 roughly 10-minute episodes. And then once we finished it, we put it together into one long documentary. So now it's like a 51-minute documentary that's on YouTube you can watch. And it's the interviews. It's part of our struggles on a musician's budget of trying to make a documentary, which I have never done anything like that before.
Right.
Eating tacos every day, drinking whatever. Mm-hmm. Just surviving on the road basically is part of it. And then there's music interspersed. So where a song that I wrote tied into one of the interviews, we worked that into. So there's 3 or 4 music videos, the interviews, the struggle. It's a fascinating, man. People with time right now, it's a fascinating watch. It is a fascinating watch. So
did you ever think? Oh, go ahead.
No, I love the whole concept. It's a very natural experience, and there's people out there that have struggles that they don't, publicize them, and just going through that of, like you said, sleeping in the truck and having a limited budget, yet you wanting to get this message across. I think
it's pretty awesome.
That's a great. That whole experience is amazing.
It's wonderful. It's something I will never forget for sure. Some of the crazy stuff that happened. I mean, I don't know if either of y'all have ever had a chance to drive across country, but even if you do that in normal times, you always have a couple of really weird things no one would ever believe happened to you on the road. It's just the nature of the beast. So we basically drove across country basically 3 times, the equivalent of driving New York to LA, back to New York, like 3 of those trips. So we had 3 times the craziness that happened to us on the road. So
what were some of the crazy things that happened? Can you?
Oh man. So, the first day I'm a crazy planner, right? So the guys show up at the house. Terry flew in from St. Petersburg and Adam came down the street, and we had the truck that we rented. And so, I'm like, listen, guys, I don't want to scare you, but here's the itinerary. And I hand them a 50-page book, each of them a 50-page book. They look at it and they go, what the hell is this thing? I'm like, this is our itinerary. This is where we got to go, what we got to shoot, what we got to see. And I think they both immediately threw it away. So we had 1 copy left, just my copy left. So the first day, I think we were up for something crazy like 48 hours straight. We drove to D.C., we interviewed a comedian, we ate. Then we drove to New York City. We interviewed a social researcher, my buddy Steve, on a roof in Spanish Harlem. And then we drove to Syracuse, where we actually had a place to sleep. And I think all of that took about 48 hours. So the first, we're just wired off the gates, right?
Gosh.
Taking off. So that was a pretty wild start. Then we got a little bit of sleep, and then one of the coolest experiences for me, one of the songs I wrote with another Syracuse native, Max McKee, who you might know.
No, Max.
Played in every band in Syracuse. Really unbelievable musician. Spoke at my wedding. One of my best friends.
Excellent.
And we had been inspired just before that by the Standing Rock situation. What had happened on the Standing Rock reservation with the pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline, and all that. So we thought it was only fitting that we go to that spot and we shoot a music video at the Sitting Bull Monument, which is a very famous spot on the reservation. And where they've placed that monument, it's not well marked. It's a little hard to find. It's kind of in nature, and it's just this beautiful setting with rolling hills and a river running by. And he's just sitting there looking at you. And he had we learned a little bit about the history of Sitting Bull, had gone through a similar situation where he'd been protesting some things the American government was doing to him, and he lived a very interesting life. And just sitting there before we filmed the video, it was almost like a spiritual experience of just thinking about the history of America and what that guy had gone through and how it was sort of repeating itself. It was a very wonderful experience. So that was just another one of the amazing things that happened.
Good stuff.
I'll tell you. Sorry, I'll tell. I got a lot of stories.
No.
I'll tell one last funny story.
Oh, keep it going.
So, at one point, we made a trade where Adam, who was traveling with us, he had to fly out, so he flew out of San Francisco. At that part of the trip, he left, and my wife, not wife yet, but girlfriend, fiance at the time, Michelle, flew in, and we were going to film some stuff in Napa Valley in the vineyards there. And so one of the scenes, Terry, my videographer, wanted me to drive up and pick her up at the house, like we were setting off for a fun day. And there was a cleaning crew at this condo complex, and they had a truck kind of in our way. And Terry's like, "Can you get her on the truck?" No problem. I'll get her on the truck. No problem. Don't worry about it. So I'm in the moment. I'm videotaping. I come around the truck. I slam right into a tree with my truck. I bang the side of the car right into a tree. Right. Wow. Rental truck. Didn't get any supplemental insurance. Right. So I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna cost like $10,000 to fix. Right.
Gosh.
So we got a big like trunk size thing in the side of the car for like the next half of the trip. So we stopped by my cousin lives out in LA. He's a filmmaker too. So we stayed with him for a day, and he's like, "Hey, I got this mount for my camera. It's got a super strong suction cup on it." He's a pretty strong guy. He's like, "Let me see if I can pull that dent out." So he puts on the suction cup and he cranks it on, and he yanks out about 90% of the dent. He just pure strength of will. He yanks the thing out, right? I'm like, that looks pretty good. Now they're only going to charge me like $5,000, right? So I get back to Nashville, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I shouldn't even tell this story, but I'm going to tell it anyways. So I'm like, I don't want to return this thing with a big dent in it. So I'm like, what if the truck just happened to get really, really dirty, and they never noticed that there was a dent in the truck? So this is ridiculous. I dig a hole in my backyard, right? I fill it full of water. I got a giant muddy hole. I'm shoveling mud against the truck. I'm basically painting the truck with mud. I cover the whole thing in mud. Maybe they won't notice. So I take the truck back. I drop it off. I'm like, "Man, I'm so sorry. I got the truck all dirty." Guys like, "You're good. No problem. See you later. Have a great day." I'm like, whew, that was a close one. So,
and you never got a bill in the mail after that.
To this day, I shouldn't even say the story because now it's on camera that I did that. But I never got a bill in the mail. So
nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. But really clever. I mean, I give you a lot of credit for that.
You got to be very ingenuitive as a musician. You got to think outside of the box at all times. So
yeah. So how long you been in Nashville now, Mick?
We're coming up on 6 years now. So
wow.
6 years in Nashville. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you first got to Nashville, did you play in the honky tonks? What did you do when you first got to town?
Well, so I mean, I've always had to make money playing music, right? For about a decade now, my full-time job has been music. So I learned pretty quickly that, unfortunately, on Broadway, as wonderful as a place it is, they kind of take advantage of musicians. They don't really pay them to play. I kind of examined the finances. It didn't really make sense for me. So I almost started touring right away. So I got settled. Me and my wife moved into a 400 square foot, horrible, crappy, wonderful apartment. And I immediately started touring. So then I started kind of running around. So I've played Tequila Cowboy, and I've played a handful of them, but it's not my regular gig by any means.
No. And where do you play when you get out? If you're not doing those down on Broadway, and you go out?
Sure.
Like the honky tonk.
I do a lot of the East Coast. So in the summertime, I tend to come back to Central New York.
Okay.
My in-laws live in Syracuse, so I stay with them. They for 38 years they ran Patsy's Pizza, which unfortunately they just had to close. But I stay with them. Yeah, they had to close it down with everything going on, and they were kind of getting ready to retire. So it's a whole combination thing. Anyways, best pizza on the planet.
Yes.
But yeah, so I stay with them, and then I kind of branch out. So I'll play Watertown and Ithaca and Rochester and Albany and all the little towns in between, Costantia and Cato and whatever it is. So that's in the summertime. I also usually do a residency in Rehoboth Beach, so I'll play Rehoboth Beach 4 or 5 weekends, Delaware. I got a good friend in Raleigh, so I play Raleigh 3 or 4 times a year. I play in Iowa 3 or 4 times a year. I got some friends out there. I tour down to Florida, so mostly from Iowa east is basically where I play. So Pennsylvania, Ohio, all those different kind of places.
Right.
Wherever they'll have me, really, Skip, I'll come and play.
So do you book all your own shows?
For the most part, I do. Yeah, for the most part, I do. So
how do you pick a place in Iowa? Do you just like get on the map and say, "Hey, I think I want to play there," or do or do you know people?
So that was kind of a funny situation. So as I mentioned, in the wintertime, I sort of chase the weather. So I'll go to Florida and I'll stay. My dad lives in Naples, Florida. He works down there. So I'll stay with him. And I was playing a bar down there, and this couple saw me and they said, "Hey, would you ever be willing to come to Iowa and play?" And oh, hey, Tori, how you doing? Somebody's commented in. That's cool. But yeah, I said, "Hey, would you ever come to Iowa and play?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll come to Iowa." Thinking, people say this to me all the time. Would you ever come and play here? Sure, I'll play if you help me set it up. And usually, no offense to people, they usually don't come through with that. Mm-hmm. This guy, true to his word, he calls me a week later. "Hey, I got you 3 shows in Iowa. You're booked, whatever, a couple months down the road."
Wow.
Okay, I guess I'm going to play at Iowa. And then ever since I went there, I had a wonderful first experience there. And now I've been back 2 or 3 times. And he puts me up in a cabin, and it's just an awesome experience.
Mm-hmm. Are you happy doing what you're doing, or would you like to go to that another level of actually having a song on the radio, or are you sad?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I'd be lying if I, I'd be lying if I didn't say I want to. Of course, we all want to keep growing. You know what I mean?
Sure,
I love playing bars. Mostly, I love it because I get to be very intimate with people. After the show, I get to talk to people, and I've made so many friends playing at bars that are lifelong friends. That's amazing. Of course, I would love to come to Syracuse, and it's Mick Fury at the Landmark Theater. That's the goal as we move up the ladder. So yeah, I mean, a song on the radio, a tour with, I don't know, Jason Isbell or Zach Brown or Sturgill Simpson or Chris Stapleton. Of course, that's what we're always gunning for. So that's for me the next step is to try to figure out how to take one of these songs that I love and I'm proud of and push it to that next level. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, you do a lot of songwriting. Tell us about the writers' nights that you get involved in. I think
sure.
Kevin and I have do a couple of those. I think when we've been in Nashville for me.
Yeah. You guys came and saw me at
the Tin Roof.
The Tin Roof. Yeah, Tin Roof. Right, exactly. For the I can't remember the name of the show now, but yes, you guys came and saw me. It's a great show in Nashville. It happens. Revival. That's the name of it. I can't believe I couldn't think of that. But yeah. Well, so that's been kind of like the biggest shock to me moving to Nashville is I always, I would always sit in my apartment, and I used to live in Manlius. That's where I lived near the pizza place downtown, like in the town of Manlius. I used to live a little horrible little apartment. Mm-hmm. And I would just stay up late at night and write songs by myself and pour my heart out. And sometimes they were great, and sometimes they were terrible, and sometimes they were embarrassing. And that was how I wrote songs. And then I moved to Nashville, and everybody in Nashville just about co-writes. And I started doing that when I came down here. I connected with a bunch of upstate New Yorkers, as I mentioned, Sean Patrick McGraw, my buddy Adam James Diebold, a girl named Megan Lee, who's incredibly talented songwriter, the Tessa, she goes by now, Tessa Victoria.
Yep.
I wrote with all these people, and writing with them basically took me by the throat and slapped me in the face and was like, "You are not as good of a songwriter as you think. You need to learn from these people. These people are pros." So, I got my ass kicked for the first couple of years down here learning from these folks, which was wonderful. Mm-hmm. And so now we get together and we write songs. And then when we write something really great, we'll book a writer's round. There'll be 3 of us in a stool, kind of like I'm sitting on now with guitars. Mm-hmm. And we'll tell a little story. Well, hey, my buddy Adam came over and we wrote this song about this, or, Sean came over and we wrote this song called The Front Porch of America. And here's why we wrote it. Let me play it for you. So yeah, we'll play it. You guys saw me at Tin Roof. We'll play a place called the Commodore. Mm-hmm. There's a place called Belcourt Taps. And then I've come up to Syracuse and I've hosted 3 or 4 of these at Funkin' Waffles right downtown, which is like my favorite venue ever. So it's a really cool, it's very intimate. It's sort of the story behind the scenes of the song, which I think is a really cool behind the scenes look for your average viewer. So
very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We came out to see you at Funkin' Waffles once because my daughter Julie, she always helps me get set up here, and she's like, I know him. She goes, I've seen him perform. And I'm trying to think, when would she have come? Because she just turned 21 in December, so I knew she wasn't at any bars.
Not that you
She
know.
remembered.
Fake ID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know,
She's like,
been there many years ago, but that's okay.
Pumpkin Waffles, we saw him there. I said, oh,
Sure.
she had
Sure.
a better memory than I did. So
Got it.
That's
I
a
probably
great
had better hair then. I got the quarantine hair going on right now. It's just a mess.
that we do. So
But
you
yeah,
guys,
Pumpkin Waffles, man, what a great place that is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good buddies with Adam that runs that place.
Mhm.
Is such a great guy. He plays in that band Sophista Funk, which kills it.
Love it.
And then Sam, that's behind the bar, has been my bartender for a decade, back from Westcott Theater days. So it's just a really great crew. It's great food. They treat the musicians like gold. That's a wonderful place to play.
Very cool.
good to know.
Very cool. I just, it's such a good feeling to know and to talk to somebody that, Syracuse is your home, but now you're
Sure.
living your dream. You're trying to make it all happen. You're trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and move to the next level. It's such a good feeling. And you've got to be scared, but then again, it's got to be awesome. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. I mean, when you go to Nashville not knowing what's going to happen and you're trying to do your thing, you don't know.
Sure.
You could end up back here, but you're not. You're making it happen, I guess. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I have kind of my story is kind of funny. I guess everybody that moves has sort of a funny story, but
Mhm.
a couple of my bandmates had moved down here. Goose and Max McKee, who I mentioned before, moved down a couple months ahead of me. And they're like, dude, you got to come. Like, this is where, if you really want to take your music career seriously, Syracuse is a wonderful city, but Nashville is the home of it all. Like,
Mhm.
you got to end up in Nashville or New York or LA if you really want to have a chance at this. That's what we thought, at least. So
That's right.
I came down. I didn't have a place to live. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. I packed up the stuff. I told my landlord, sorry, I got to go. Whatever could fit into my little tiny Scion, and I took off, and I came down here, and I slept on people's couches, and I spent my days at coffee shops looking for apartments, and it took me like 3 weeks. So I was just sleeping on couches. I slept in my car a couple times, whatever it took, and then I found, as my wife will tell it, the worst apartment in Nashville to move us into, and we moved in, and
you got to start somewhere.
no heat, no air conditioning, no insulation. It was horrible and great at this time. We made it home, but it certainly wasn't glorious.
But those are great stories that someday you're going to reflect back on with your children, or when, different people that you work with, and they're very well appreciate. You're going to appreciate those times, believe it or not, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that, I mean, maybe this is just a personal perspective, but I do feel that, like, the struggle as an artist helps to develop what you're going to do. And for me, it's been a lot of struggle. And I mean, I'm relatively happy with the person I've become. I probably drink too much, but otherwise, I like my music that I make. So
it's the quarantine. That's all I can tell you. It's the quarantine.
So you were in this cruddy little apartment, you said, in Fayetteville or Manlius area?
Manlius, yes.
And you moved to a cruddy little apartment when you started out in Nashville. So an
even smaller, possibly cruddier apartment in Nashville. Yeah, it was bad.
I hope once, you were married and got going there, you gave your wife at least, a 900 square foot apartment versus the 400.
So we bought a house here actually a couple years ago. We live in East Nashville now. Mm-hmm. However, it's only 800 square feet.
Okay. You got to start somewhere.
That's all right.
I'm sitting in the guest room, guitar storage. My studio is off to the left. My live performance space is here. There's a Murphy bed. This is a 100 square foot room that is literally my entire life right now. This is where I've been living. So
multi-talented room. That's okay.
Yes, the room has more talents than I do, for sure. It's got a lot going on.
And I'm sure that's no different from other artists. I mean, people get up, they move there, they've got nothing, no money in the bank, no nothing. They're just hoping to make
living the dream
and living a dream.
Sure, and honestly, that struggle. That struggle of doing that, and then when I travel, I tend to travel to smaller cities. I don't play New York City. I'll come play Syracuse. I don't tend to play the big cities. I play the secondary, third city, small towns, whatever. And I see a lot of that struggle on the road too. I see guys at dive bars, struggling to pay for $2 beers, and so in going through that the past 5 or 6 years, it's definitely changed where I come from with my music. I know what you do on the air and what you guys support with the country music, and that's wonderful. And that there's people that can have giant pickup trucks with flames coming out the back and drink all kinds of beers and have a great life. that's just not the world I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing people that are struggling a little bit more, and I felt those people kind of need a champion, someone to sing their songs, and that's a little bit what the Front Porch of America is, and it's a little bit what the songs coming down the line, the stuff that's going to be on the new record. It's just a little bit more about the struggles that, whether we want to admit it or not, our whole country's going through, and I really hope we can overcome. But the little guy's getting stomped on right now, and I'm trying to be someone that speaks for them at least occasionally. Maybe not in every song, but tries to bolster their story up a little bit.
Well, that's what it's all about. Hey, did you ever think about taking that documentary, The Front Porch of America, and maybe go to Netflix or Hulu or somebody like that?
Oh yeah, no, I tried all that. Yeah, I tried all that. That's how would I put that best?
That's another whole story.
As competitive as the world of music is, which is very competitive, it's hard to get any opportunities.
Yes.
Those worlds are equally competitive. So to try to get something to Netflix, sure, if you know Jimmy Netflix, that's the son of the guy that run. You know what I mean? It's like you got to have an in for that. We did get it on Roku for a while. It was on the Roku service, which was cool.
Okay.
I've sent it to PBS. I mean, I've sent it to any service you can name. I've sent it to, but again, I'm just one guy with a drinking problem. So me trying to figure this stuff out is a challenge. I'm trying to figure it out like everybody else is. So,
no, but
yes,
that's great because you never know. There's might be one day when they're one of these networks is going to be looking for something and they're going to stumble across it. It might be 2 or 3 years down the road, but
sure. And I think nowadays, I think nowadays it's definitely about the long game. It's definitely about, hey, again, you can make the flash in the pan song about a party on a Saturday night, or you can try to make something that maybe runs a little bit deeper and maybe has a little more longevity, where it's like, hey, 4 years down the road, if we're still in this place as a country, which I hope we're not, but if we are, this documentary could still mean something to people. It could still show them that, like, hey, from New York City to LA to a little town in South Dakota, we all really want the same thing. We want everybody's life to get better. That's what we all want. I don't personally wish ill on anybody out there.
Right.
Maybe you, Skip, but not really nobody else. So I think we all kind of want that. We all want our fellow Americans to go up, especially coming off of Memorial Day. We would love to see everyone's life get better. And for me, everyone across the globe's life get better. So yes, as you're saying, maybe 3 years down the road, somebody comes across this and it changes their life. I hope. I really hope.
Well, that's cool. It could just happen someday, like Deb says, out of the blue. You might just get a phone call and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and we found this. And
sure. Yeah, or maybe they see the orchestra that you got a chance to play, or maybe they see me live. You never know. And that's the magic of music, is that it's really, really difficult to talk to people these days about political topics. Everybody just goes from 0 to 10 immediately, like, immediately I'm throwing my hands up, I'm fighting you, all this stuff. But music has kind of a cool way to like cut through all of that, where it's like it just goes right to the heart. And if it's a true message and something that is really genuine, it'll penetrate all that bullshit. So that's kind of, that to me is why it's more important now than it's ever been. It's like the 60s again. It's like time for a revolution. Yeah. Maybe music can lead the way. I hope it can.
Mm-hmm. Have you been out and about, or maybe when you're writing, is there anybody like really like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm sitting next to this person. I can't believe I'm actually writing with these people. Is there anybody that's really kind of intimidated you a little bit, kind of made you feel like, oh my God?
Sure. I mean, so the guy I actually wrote this song with, Sean Patrick McGraw. I mean, he's toured with Eric Church, and he's toured with Toby Keith, and we actually got put together by a radio station in Rochester that I'd worked with, connecting me with. They said, hey, you should meet up with this guy Sean. I think you'll like him. You get along well. So the first time I sat down with the guy, I'm like, oh man, this guy was kind of a big deal, and he had a lot of stuff going on. He's still doing really well. And he was just the nicest guy. We immediately hit it off. We immediately started getting beers together. His wife and my wife are great friends. Awesome. So I have another friend I write with. His name's Arliss Alberton. He's written all kinds of hit songs for Luke Bryan and Diamond Rio. Of course, intimidated to hang out with him. But what I find is the guys that I sit down with, or girls, often girls actually, and we immediately have a connection where it's like, hey, we can get together. We can pick on each other. We can have a drink together. We can enjoy a coffee together. Those are the people that end up being songwriting friends, but also just friends. Yeah. All the people I write songs with that I like to write songs with are people I'd have to my house for dinner, or I'd have over in my backyard. I built a patio in the back. I'll have them over for a fire. You know what I mean? Like those are the kind of people that in the long run you find, well, if I'm going to write a song with somebody, I want to write it with this dude or this girl,
That's cool. That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I don't know. We got to get you back. You're going to be coming. Well, right now, everything's kind of not doing much of anything, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, I don't know what's happening this year. My schedule right now is looking relatively bleak. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I had shows booked out, and actually, the first time around in a decade, I had 5 or 6 shows booked out in California at the Tin Roof out there.
Wow.
In San Diego, and I had a show in LA, and that's all been canceled. And so I don't know if you'll be seeing me this summer. I mean, I certainly hope, but obviously everyone's safety is my number one priority. So
right.
But whatever. I could certainly be down about the fact that music and the restaurant industry have probably been hit the hardest of anybody out there, and my career is basically canceled right now, and I could certainly be down about that. But listen, I'm healthy, I'm eating well, I'm drinking well, I'm taking walks every day, so it's a really good time, like I said before, to self-reflect and just be like, hey, I'm gonna pivot, maybe I'm gonna try something different, maybe I'll come out in a different way. But for now, we do the live stream. Every Saturday night I do a live stream, usually 7 p.m. Eastern time. Lately I've been doing I'll do 90s rock songs and my songs, or I'll do the Allman Brothers, and I do a theme night. So I don't know what the theme's going to be this Saturday, but something fun. I pick a combination of my tunes and covers to do. So, and then we get a chance to do something like the Front Porch of America Orchestra, which I never would have. I got no time for that. Well, I do actually have time for that now. So I have time to put something cool and special together. So
don't you think you'll be able to get back to some capacity though? Because we have to open up again, and at Nashville, they are letting bands play in the bars, limited capacity right now. I get that, but there's going to be a point where someone has to call and say, hey, we need you here. We want you here. We need our audience back. You bring those people to the table. So
yeah, I mean, I would struggle to answer that question only because, listen, I'm just a musician. I don't.
Yeah.
I let the epidemiologists and the scientists tell me if they say, hey, it's safe for people to be together again and to listen to you sing, I'm in. Until I hear that, I'm probably not ready yet. The worst thing that could ever happen is I play a show, somebody comes, they spread it to a bunch of people. I would feel responsible for the rest of my life if I did that. So as much as I miss it, and trust me, I play 150 shows a year. If anybody is missing playing shows, I know musicians are.
Yeah.
I would love to be back out there, but my priority is my career is important. People's life is more important. So let's let everybody get healthy, get safe, and then I'm glad to play. I'll play 200 shows in 100 days. I don't
just
care.
Double up next year. There you go.
I will double up. You will see me. You will throw up from seeing me too often. I promise you that.
Kid, go home. Jesus.
Yeah.
You're going to go home?
Not that stupid song again.
Oh, not again. No, that'll never happen because you are so talented and you're from this area. And I know we're all very proud of you. We're proud to say that we know you. And
Well, I appreciate that. If you knew me better, you might not say that, but I appreciate you saying that.
No. I know more than you think. Let me tell you. And I've kind of told Deb a few things. So no, it's all good. It's all good. And
well, let me ask you. I don't mean to change the interview around, but how are things in Syracuse? How's life there? Is it going okay? Is it?
Well, it's pretty quiet. It was 93 degrees today, and we had snow. What 2.5 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, Mother's Day.
Totally.
So it was 93 today, but Syracuse is pretty quiet. We should be entering phase 2 come Friday. Which means Destiny will open up. The big mall will open up. I know hairdressers. It's going to put a smile on Deb's face. And for me, the barbershop's going to be opening up here rather quickly, but there's a lot of restrictions. So
it's funny. I feel like I'm in the postseason in a sport right now where they grow the beard in the postseason. I'm just growing the hair. I'm just letting it go until quarantine's totally over. I'm not cutting this thing. So we're just going to let this thing get out of control.
I wake up in the morning and it's like, oh my God, I'm afraid to look in the mirror.
We have crazy that have let their hair go and have a beard like there's no tomorrow.
Did we lose Deb?
I don't even recognize him.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he can hear me or see me now.
Nope. Can you see or hear Deb?
I lost her, but I still got your beautiful face.
Okay. Well, you can relay messages for me then.
Hang on, because I'll do this and bring her right back. Hang on. Nope. Hang on. Everybody, please hang on. Nobody get nervous.
We're going live again. We're back. And we're back.
And we're back. We're getting good at this technical stuff.
We just kind of shifted over a little bit.
That's okay.
Perfect.
Okay. I got to look into that. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's all new technology to a lot of us. So
it is. But I watch some of the, not watch, but they're on as I'm floating around the house in the morning, some of the talk shows, and they all have this on the major networks. They have the same technical difficulty that we do. So it's
a new challenge for all of us. And it's hey, listen, you know, the world changes sometimes in the drop of a hat, and we all have to adapt. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it is. You know what I mean? It's what we got to do.
Your name's backwards. I better get rid of that. There we go. All right. I think that's the way you have it on your end, to be honest with you, because that's how it comes through. But it's
sure, yeah, it's probably I'm sure it's my fault.
Yeah, it is. We'll make it your fault.
Most things are. I tend to find, at least from my wife's perspective, most things are my fault.
Yeah. Have you been like binge watching anything, or you just got all this time on your hands? Do you kind of
you know what I'm pretty into is the Last Dance documentary, the Michael Jordan documentary.
It was freaking awesome.
Oh, so good. I don't really keep up with sports that much anymore, but I grew up loving Michael Jordan. I wanted to be like Mike, like everybody else did. So to watch this documentary now has been like really. I didn't know if I would like it. To be honest with you, I'm like, I don't really pay attention to sports anymore. I care more about music and film and art. That's kind of my vibe these days. But I was like, I'll check out the first one. And I'm watching. I'm like, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. First episode. And it gets to the very end, and that intro music comes on that the Bulls used to come out to. That bum, 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 bum. And I'm like, I used to love this music. I love this documentary. And then I was jumping off my seat. And then I can't stop watching it. I love that thing. So.
Yeah, that's definitely good. I haven't been watching too much TV. I'm like playing in my studio here and doing a lot of things like that. But you know, and I've got to say, being in radio, I've been very fortunate. I've been working every day, but Deb and I talk to a lot of the artists like you, the independent artists, the writers. We try to get 2 or 3 people on every week, and you know, it's just. You're the ones that are really hurting from this. You and as you talked about, you don't have any income right now. This being out and play, that's how you pay your bills, is to get out there and play your music. And you know, it's very difficult, and just I don't know how you guys do it.
Well, I mean, full disclosure, I know we all hate the government and they're a bunch of morons. However, they did allow independent musicians most of us to get some level of unemployment. So that's been a really good thing. I don't know if it was Democrats or Republicans or independents, whoever did that.
It doesn't matter.
Thank you for doing one thing right and taking care of a few of us. We do appreciate that. If you're listening, Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, whoever's listening, thank you all for doing that.
Thank you for the money.
Way to keep it across the board.
Yeah, I'll just give a wand to all of them. Thank you for not making me be,
right,
totally broke now.
Back to sleeping in your truck and eating whatever you were eating, tacos or something, whatever you said.
Well, once I stop being able to pay the bills, so I have to go sleep in the shed, is what my wife told me. So that will be a little warmer than I'm used to. But I got a really comfortable shovel out there. I think I should be all right.
You'll be all right. Mick, you're off.
A couple of spiders.
Do you ever get together with the old guys from Silent Fury and kind of do you?
Yeah, so I mean, Max McKee played in that band a little bit, and then I've worked with him on every album I've done. So he's still one of my best friends. He lives 10 minutes away, so I see him all the time. Goose, whenever he comes to town, of course we hang out. We had plans to go to California to visit him. Obviously that got shuffled around a little bit, and then Joe Nasty, who was my bass player forever, great background singer, he helped me set up like all of the music at my wedding. So for my wedding, we did the Red House in Syracuse, which you guys are probably familiar with.
Yeah.
And we rented the big room from them, and we literally set up a full stage, a 20-foot stage, a full sound system, full lights. All my Nashville buddies came up, and we had like a festival. So my wedding was like a festival with 6 different bands played, and we had videos going, and it was a riot. So Joey basically coordinated that whole thing for me, so I'm super grateful to him. So yeah, I still keep up with all those guys. They're still all my best friends.
That is very, very cool. And I obviously, you know, Tori, which is nice. She loves you. And yeah, which is cool. And Jennifer was checking in. Let me see if I can slide it over here.
Oh yeah, she's my buddy, and she lives in Raleigh. They come out and see me in Raleigh all the time. So.
Oh, very cool. But
originally from Syracuse too. So
gotcha. See, I mean, you're away from Syracuse, but you're not really away. So,
Well, the interesting thing about Syracuse is, for better or for worse, a lot of people tend to move out of there. So
Yeah, I know.
when I travel around the country, more often than not, there's somebody at the bar when I say, I live in Nashville, I'm originally from Syracuse. Somebody comes up and says, I'm from Baldwinsville, or I'm from Manoa, or I'm from North State. Almost every single time somebody comes up and tells me that. So it's
Well,
hilarious.
they're smart because really the weather is much better elsewhere. What, six
Yeah,
or 8 months out of the year?
the weather is tough. Like I said, my in-laws still live there, and they were telling me about the snow, and you guys are tougher than me. I can't take it anymore. I come up there and it's like 30, and I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get back.
I didn't mind it for the longest time. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I love the snow. I'm a skier. I
good.
enjoy the winter and all that. But now I'm kind of thinking I might be getting a little tired of it.
Where do you ski? Do you go to Toggenburg or Labrador
Yeah,
or something?
I used to go to all of those. I used to be in the ski club. Now I pretty much am down to I'll ski with some friends. We'll hit Vermont or we'll hit somewhere out near Buffalo, Ellicottville. We'll head down there because I don't have anybody here that skis.
One of my favorite towns ever is Ellicottville. I love that place. I played the brewery there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, I got to play at the brewery, and I hang out there a lot. And that's a wonderful. People that are listening right now that live in Syracuse should take a drive to Ellicottville, because that is such like a bucolic little town. That's a wonderful place.
It is. I haven't been there in quite about 3-4 years now, so I hopefully we'll get back there next year sometime. So
that's a good spot.
Not a lot of people know about that, so I'm impressed.
So before we left New York, before we moved, whatever it was, 5 or 6 years ago, I kind of knew. I don't think we'll ever live in Syracuse again. I love to visit it in the summertime when it's hot. Cool. I love to visit, but I don't know that we'll ever live there again. So we made it a point to like visit as many little small towns as we could before we left, So we did the Howe Caverns thing. We went to Saratoga Springs, went to Plattsburgh, Saranac Lake, Ithaca a bunch of times, Corning, just any kind of out of the way little tiny town. We visited them all, and that's something amazing that upstate New York has, is all those little towns are very unique and very cute. And not a lot of places I've been to have that level of towns. Like Tennessee doesn't have it. Tennessee doesn't have anywhere near that many towns.
I have to agree. You really hit that right on the head there, because there is a lot of beautiful little towns surrounding us.
Yep.
So.
And you know it's officially a town when they have a church and they have a bar. That's when I know this is
That's
now
all
a
you
town.
need.
That is so true. There's a song right there. You got to write a song about that.
There you go.
It'd be like perfect. That would be really cool. I was gonna. do you know Bill Kelly?
I don't think I know Bill Kelly. No,
he's going to be on our podcast tomorrow night. He's a songwriter. He's been in Nashville about 30 years. He's got a project called Kane and Kelly. But Bill is no youngster. I don't know if you remember music from the 70s or how good you are with that. But there was a song called.
I wasn't born yet, but okay, continue.
But because. All right, you wouldn't remember, but maybe just know the music from whatever. There was a song called Timothy, and it wasn't really a very pleasant song, but it went on to sell like well over 1 million copies. And he was the lead singer on that. He's coming on with us tomorrow night. I was just
wow,
he's a songwriter in Nashville. So
okay, no, I haven't had a chance to meet him, but I sure would like to. I'm always down to meet people, especially if they have the upstate New York connection. I know I'm going to get along with them well. Like I said, I've met. So many upstate New Yorkers, the ones that I mentioned, Cassidy Lynn, I'm buddies with. Jason Teska. I met so many upstate New Yorkers down here. It's at least half of my friend group down here is upstate New Yorkers.
We love those guys. Cassidy, Jason, all those guys are the best. I remember Jason with the Back Alley Boys.
Oh yeah,
way back in the day, and definitely good stuff. So
he's I think he plays with a guy, I'm not sure if he still does, named Scott Collier at Tootsie's. I don't know if they still, obviously with everything going on, probably not playing right now, but the last I saw him, that's where he was doing. I see Blaine Holcomb, if you guys know Blaine Holcomb.
He's very well.
He's a buddy. I'm friends with Austin Duty, who's another Syracuse, New York kind of blues player. He's fabulous. So yeah, I mean, I try to keep up with everybody as best I can. Again, I have the time, so I try to keep up with everybody. So.
Take advantage of it while you can, because all of a sudden you won't have the time anymore.
No, it'll all go away fast. I know that.
Yeah, but I'm loving this. So there's some trying moments, but I do love not that I want people getting sick and all that stuff. I mean, I don't mean anything for that, but I just love that it's given a chance for us to reconnect, and you see families getting together. I've played a lot of games with my kids. We have Catan-a-thons at my house now, if you've ever played Catan.
I
But
haven't. Sounds fun.
it's a good game. I've not
No idea.
yet won, not played 100 times. I haven't even come close to winning, but it's good time together.
Well, it's been fun for us too. Is like we've been like Zoom calling or
Yeah.
house party or Skyping with people we would never,
Right.
people I would never think to talk to. You have this, you kind of have this thought in the back of your head, like I'll see that person at some
Yeah.
point. I don't need to worry about them. But now it's like, hey, you don't really know what's going to happen. I better Zoom call this person. We have like a new ritual now where every Sunday we video call my wife's parents and we talk to them and see how they're doing. Her sister calls in, my sister calls in, my dad calls. It's just, I mean, I've gotten drunker on Zoom calls standing in my kitchen than I have at a lot of bars. It's been, I mean, not passing out on the couch. It's embarrassing, really, but it's fun. I don't care. It's fun.
Hey, you don't have to drive anywhere. You don't even need to pay for an
That's the
Uber.
best.
Nothing. It's perfect.
I just got to make it back to my bed, which half the time I can't even do that, but it's fine. It's all good.
I hear you. We do the Zoom thing on Fridays with the fam. So
It's fun, right? I mean, yeah, we do like little.
from my
I got a group of buddies from when I used to live in Manlius. One's my cousin, a guy that used to work at the bar, and a buddy that now lives in California. And we're all pretty close friends. We never would thought to Zoom call. And now we get on like a couple times a month. We do like a Zoom happy hour.
Yep.
And I won't point out the specific person, but one of the guys got so drunk he passed out on the Zoom call, which was hilarious. And it wasn't me. It was somebody else.
Did you get a screenshot?
Yeah, well, that person's wife texted us afterwards. They're like, "What did you guys do? What happened? Like, he's out. He won't wake up."
Fun.
Yeah, we had a good time. You know, we had fun.
I love it. It's crazy. Mick, you're awesome. It's great catching up with you. It's
for sure. I appreciate you guys having me on. Deb, how's your country project going? I know you have the fan club thing, right?
Yep, it's actually going well. We kicked off last year doing the showcases, which we talked about.
Yeah.
We were hoping to. We had a few lined up, and we were progressing for this year. So now we'll have to put that on halt. And we have quite a few things coming down the pike now, hopefully for the fall. So that's actually picking up. So we will be in touch for sure as soon as this thing gets back going. We get back.
I apologize, but I forgot the name of the project. It's
the Official Country Music Fan Club.
Official Country Music.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be in touch as soon as life picks back up again. So
sure.
We it had a good kickoff last year.
That's awesome.
She's on a roll.
Skipper, you're still on the radio every day, right? You're still on Wolf every day?
I'm still on Wolf, 2 till 7 every day. And then
great.
Deb and I, we do these podcasts at least twice a week. We've combined, my knowledge and me being, doing what I do with what she's doing. And so we work together quite, pretty much all the time now. We're like partners with this. That's why I don't do this without her. And it's just a great relationship. Because getting to know the artist like you, the independent artist, and even some of the bigger artists. We're going to have Drake White on next week.
Oh man, that guy's so good.
Yes. And it's just cool that people, it's awesome because I get calls almost every day about the Skip Happens podcast. And
that's great.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the situation that we're in, and artists that still, they want to get their name out there. They want to, they still want to do whatever they can do to be out there. So, and I've got a great relationship with the record labels and a lot of the promotion companies, the marketing companies.
Sure.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let me ask you guys' opinion about this. I was thinking about, I've been doing my live streams on Saturday nights, right? Which has been totally fun. I was thinking about doing almost like a little festival where I had like a bunch of different solo artists sort of like log in from their home and do like a little. Would that be something people would watch? Do you think?
I think they do. Yes,
I do. Yes, anything to me unique and or different that can give a different experience. I love all that stuff. Me personally, I think that's a great idea.
Well, I'm friends with TJ Sacco, and I know he did one of those recently for to raise money for vets. I didn't follow the whole story, but he was telling me it was a huge success, and I got as you saw in the orchestra, I have a bunch of musician friends around the country. I thought it might be sort of a neat thing to bring them all together and have them all play. I guess just on Facebook, but whatever, it's something.
But that's okay. We could share it. Like we'll share it each to our followings and get more viewers on there for you. I think it's a great idea.
Well, once I sober up, I'll try to pull that together.
Okay, make sure you keep us posted. Let us know.
You could.
That should be in just just a couple months that should be happening, I'm sure.
You could tie it in with the Front Porch Project, and
yeah,
and just talk
be great.
about that they're in different parts of the country or whatever, and
Sure.
just kind of give it a different spin. So that'd be cool.
I'm always thinking about ideas like that. You know, I'm a musician, but I'm also I got a little bit of that I don't know what that is, planner, organizer sort of mentality in my brain. So I'm always thinking about.
Doesn't have that in his brain, so he doesn't really get that part of it.
I am totally unorganized. So I called Deb. Today I called her. I said, "Okay, you got the calendar? Put this on this date. Put this on this date. Put this, and remind me."
And I have to remind them. Okay, we have this one tonight. This one. It all works.
I'm terrible with that, but I've got the equipment. I've got the toys. She kind of keeps the business side of things. So.
Also, Deb looks easily the most comfortable of the three of us right now. She's outside.
Oh my God!
But I don't hear the mower anymore.
I'm sweating. I'm in my little tiny room sweating. I got the fan going. I'm a mess.
I got the air conditioning and I'm freezing.
Luke could only mow in the front, and then it got dark. Which actually, I'm surprised you could even still see me. But it's about 85 degrees out here. Like this is what I live for. This is why I love when we're in Nashville, because the nights are where you can walk outside. I can wear short sleeves and not freeze. My air conditioning, it's a war in my house when we have to put the air conditioning on because I can't stand it. So I said, it's like a Nashville night. I'm going outside. I hope this works. And I had 5 minutes to figure it out. But yes, I'm very comfortable.
Looks good. I should have gone on my patio tonight. I could have been equally as comfortable.
I should have done that. I didn't even think about that. I'm just down in what I call my pod zone and my voiceover studio. So,
oh my gosh!
And like I say, you
Skip. Skip. What kind of microphone you using there? Is that an SM7? What is that?
Yep, SM7B. I
got one of those. I got one of those sitting right next to me here.
Yeah, I got 2 of these, and I've got 2 of the Stealth.
Not currently using it for some reason, but I do have it.
It's the best microphone, dude.
It is.
I've got the RE20, and I also have a Sennheiser 416, which I do for the voiceover stuff. So
I was just using it today, working on vocals for my next album. So I'm recording a bunch of that myself with that mic. It's a great mic.
Do you record in your house?
I do. Yeah, I got a little setup over here.
Oh, good. So you don't have to pay for studio time and all that.
Well, that's a little more complicated. There's only so many things I can do here, so I do as much as I can, and then I sort of send it out after that. So it's a multi. Yeah. I mean, having my own studio definitely helps save a lot of money, but it doesn't. I still got to hire pros for a lot of the stuff, you know. Yeah. So
that's okay. That's what they're there for.
Cool stuff.
Totally.
Mick, it's awesome. You're awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for having me on. This is fun.
Kind of a last minute thing. We had an opening, and I said, get a hold of Mick because I've wanted to get you on. We've mentioned it several times.
Yeah, we have talked about it.
And it's just we get so busy with life, and it just, of course, as unorganized as I am, things like oops.
Well,
but
I'm always down to chat. I can BS for hours. So anytime you need you need to fill some time. I got a lot of crap to talk.
You're definitely an easy interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been on about an hour. I think it's almost time to get a refill.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
And Mick, thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to, when you come back, you definitely got to look us up when you come through the queues. Even if you're just here visiting, whatever the case is, we'd love to hook up and have a cold one. So
sounds good.
I'm really hoping in the fall if things open up.
Sounds great, brother. Well, thank you for having me. Good to see you. And if you guys are bored on Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, I'll be live on my Facebook page. So tune in.
You got that. What were you saying, Deb?
Oh, no, I was just telling, in the fall, if things
open up. I don't have Deb anymore.
Yeah, I didn't think you did. I didn't
hang on a second, because if I hide her and bring her back.
There she is.
Hang on. Oh, wait a minute. Here she comes. There she is.
She's back on my screen now.
Okay. So I was saying if things go well in the fall and we can have an event of some sort, I'm hoping to have a country nights sort of event.
Awesome.
So hopefully it'll work out for you to be in the area during that time.
You got my number. Just give me a shout. I'm always happy to play.
Great.
Do it. Mick, you're the best. Oh, by the way, if somebody wants to look up the Front Porch of America and all that, they can go to YouTube, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a couple ways they can do it. My Facebook page, which I shared this from, if I don't know where they're watching it, but it's facebook.com/Mick Fury. So that's MICKFURY.
Okay.
Front Porch of America Orchestra is right at the top of that page, or maybe like one link down. And then on YouTube, it's youtube.com/Mick Fury. You got to throw that second Fury on there. And that's got that's got the orchestra, that's got the documentary, and then about 6 months ago, I did a cooking show where I teach you how to make tacos,
I saw
combined
that.
with
Yeah.
I do a taco show,
watched
and I sing some songs with my friend Adam James
Mhm.
Diebel, and that was a riot too. So I'm always doing different stuff.
Good
I
for
try
you.
all kinds of stuff.
I love it. I love it, man. You're never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment in my life, that's for
I
sure.
love it. I love it. And what about other music? Do you still have stuff posted on social media or any place that someone?
Yeah. I mean, again, Facebook is a great place to find that. Of
Okay.
course, I'm all over Spotify. Mick
Right,
Fury, if you look that up, I'm on
Yep.
Spotify.
Cool.
Instagram. I mean, anywhere you might want to waste a couple minutes on social media, I'll be there smiling at you. You can find me. So.
All right, you got it. Hey, Mick, you're the best, and stay safe. Wear your mask.
Oh yeah, always do.
Do you? Good for you.
Always do.
Good for you.
I'm a diehard masker.
Okay. Know what I say? Mask it or casket. I don't know if that's the thing to.
That's a little dark. That's a little dark, Skip.
I know.
That's a
Okay,
little
we'll
dark.
move on. We'll move on. Hang on.
Yikes.
I got into an argument with somebody over that the other night, so that's just never mind. It is dark. All right. So, Mick, thanks. We're gonna see you later. We're gonna move on, and let's catch up when you're in town. If not,
Sounds good, guys. Good to see you. Good to see you, Skip. Good to see you, Deb.
Awesome.
Peace
Good
out.
to see you too.
We'll
We'll
see you
definitely be in touch.
All right.
All right,
Peace, my
cheers.
friend. Take care.
Take care.
Cheers. We'll see ya. Goodbye.
Bye.
Here we go.